Good morning, everyone, and TGIF. It is a Friday the 13th. Woo, okay, yeah. So here we are, Friday the 13th, and just jumping right back in. We've made some great progress at getting rid of iframes in the past couple days, and today I'm going to be continuing down that same stream. So here we go. We have 5 files left. Now, these files, opposed to the other information where we were submitting things that go through the process and basically submitted form data back to the database and have to write it to the database. So we moved that all to handlers and used JSON calls and, made the connection, did all that stuff, and it's working really smooth, really nice, really clean. So we're really happy with that. And I said really about too many really times. But the next part here is this is the section that allows you to upload files if it's Babylon files, if it's upload images or textures or height maps or whatever else. It's the processes that do that and list them out and show you on the screen. So we're pretty much going to be working in the media library today. So let's get those converted over and changed and get rid of iframes once and for all. We are 5 files away from clearing that out and cleaning that up. So off we go. Okay, so looking at it, here we go. First thing I'm going to show you is this. When you go to Media Library, something, I'm going to close the 3D project because there's no reason to keep reloading my golf course every time I come to this page when we're pretty much working in the Media Library. Okay, so when I go to Media Library, this section right here is actually an iframe. So, starting with even that, we also have objects. This is an iframe, and notice how it scrolls and does blah, 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 blah. Right here, it's showing you these things. We got a little bit of cleanup to do because, for example, this path is automatically going too far instead of wrapping. We need to do the force wrap on that so it becomes an extra line. There's some stuff to do. So I'm going to work on that. We're going to clean it up. See, that one, because it had a hyphen, broke the text, but this one did not. So, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get that in place, and we'll make sure that this is, we'll make sure it's basically, fits on the screen. I might, there's some that are plugins. There's some that are, Okay, well, either way, we're going to do some cleanup on this page. We're going to make it spit out the things in the right place. And I think I'm going to start here. So, in the code behind, that is uploaded files. This is the page that it brings up. And obviously, that's iframes page. And I need to also locate where this is happening. Because in our code, we need to kill it at its source, which means this iframe here, we need to know where that is in our code. And it looks like that is, back up out of the form page, because that's still that page. Body, form, header, and XML there. Document type, we're getting there. This is the page right here. iForm, okay. That's the one I want. And when I look for that in the code, I'm sure it's going to be in the init page. Functions init, and there it is. Ooh, WTW admin. Okay, I was wrong. I moved it there. It's my own fault. Okay, so the iframe gets created here, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to create a new line above that so that the page exists there, but I'm creating a new instance of those same items that happen above it, and then I'll remove the iframe after the fact. So we can match up and look at what we currently have and make sure that it's measuring up to what should be there. All the goodies, all the details there. So here's where we're going to be working, and let's see. Just thinking out loud here. This is r/n. Gives me a line break. And then that. Okay. So we created a div. I'm going to call it ID equals Actually, we'll use the slash like we did on all the other lines here. Okay, the ID for this is going to be WalkTheWeb underscore. The old one was upload objects frame. We're going to call this uploaded objects div. And first thing I'm going to do is find in my files and make sure that that's a unique name, because we could really be in some trouble without that. Okay, starting there. So now we have a name, and when we click on let's see, on 3D objects up here, it opens this page. I'm going to find that function, and we're going to tell it what else to do when we click on that tab right there. So the easiest way to find it is click on it here. It says set image menu for. That's easy enough. Just getting our bearings straight to begin with. Once we have that part straight, then we can do a lot more. So the first thing we have is that's the page that created the iframe. So from there, there's going to be a number of things that we can do, such as here's the format of each one of those div tags that come up and paint on there. Okay, so where did I do it? And here's the function that calls that, and it was number 4, which means this section right here. It sets the top to be that. It sets this section to show in line, which works for us. And then it does some objects framework, which we are going to be getting rid of at the end. And then we're going to let me just double check what that object framework looks like. Uploaded objects frame. Oh, that is the frame. Okay. Excuse me. And load object page, true. I just want to see where this load object page is, and I don't really want to leave where I'm at. I guess it's line number 5806. Okay, it's the top one. I want to make sure I get back to the piece I already found. Okay, so load object page. This one sets the iframe page and pulls up the whole thing, shows it when it finishes loading it. Okay, we won't be needing this by the time we're done. So these two things will disappear when we get this whole piece in place. So now, coming in here, we need to create a new function. And this function is going to be all about loading this page. Trying to think. Yeah. Okay. It's a good way to do it. Or at least a good way to start doing it until we come up with a better way. We're going to call this load uploaded objects div. We'll keep the div on there just so that we know what we're doing. And copy that to there. And I'm also going to double check and make sure I'm not duplicating a name. Okay, so this isn't being used anywhere else, so I'm going to call it right here, wtw.that, And that will kick off our process here. And we're going to start with taking this and setting it to blank. And that way, when we're doing stuff with it, we'll reload it and tell it exactly what to be. So the first thing we're going to do is actually get the data that we're going to be dumping into the screen, then we'll format it and put it in there, just like we do any other normal JSON call for this particular piece of data. So we'll create a handler that has... We're going to need a handler that basically traps all that data that we're going to do. We're not going to be, at this point, it isn't going to be sending anything in, but it is going to be returning the data. There's two pieces here. So we do have an uploads one already. Uploaded files, it kind of goes hand in hand with that, but it seems like a different... I think therefore I am. Oh, okay. I'm just thinking ahead here. If I want to make it its own file, I think there's enough reason to make it its own file because I can give it the info of a data upload and then refresh the page on its call. So it'll either be sending it there and just bringing back the data without adding anything, or I can use the same file to do the upload when necessary. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one called uploaded files. Let's see, new file. Start by just doing that so I can save the file. And in our back up another handlers, there we go. And this will be uploadedfiles.php. Save that. Now we have the new file right there. And I'm going to start by kind of copying this format from here because it's going to have a lot of the same kind of flavor to it. So let's take that file, put it here, and now I'm going to make this uploaded files. That'll be our name of our file. And class uploads, that's not bad. I think I could put it all in the uploads for what it's doing. That's not an issue because it does upload files and it does use some of the same functionality for that step. So I think I'm going to keep it in the uploads class. Makes perfect sense. This will bring us certain things. We'll wipe out the current things that it was importing because I know we're going to be doing something slightly different with it. And then wipe these out because they're not the ones we're using. Well, I'll keep one of them just because it's the format we want until we complete the first step, and then we can get all the rest of this out of here. And then the handlers, and it brings it back to the file. Okay, so we strip this down to its native pieces. We get the data, which whatever gets sent in here, and we brought it in. It's doing it for a post file. So that part all looks good so far. Okay, so let's get a little bit of more stuff here going. In the admin, well, let's see. do, that's not a good choice of one. Nope. Okay, so this was the typical request that I've been doing. Handlers uploads. Okay, so that's going to be similar to what I'm doing now. So I'm going to put that over here. And this is what we're going to use to make the call. The file that we're going to is uploaded files. And then we're going to pass no information at the start. The request isn't going to have anything but the actual function name. And that's going to tell us what to do when we get there, and then we'll decide what we want to do when we get the data back. If that makes sense. So in this section, first thing is this will be get uploaded files. Copy that to, okay, where am I going? Let's get rid of some things we don't need anymore. That's the one we're working with. That's where it sits. This is the old file. Okay, this is kind of, let me put it in that order so I'm working on this same piece all the time. The function comes through and case this. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. And this is where I've already decoded the results, so the data is in decoded form. This one doesn't have to get anything there, but what it's going to do is the same way on the original file. This had to do this statement and come back with this data. So what I need, I could do it, we need to do it in a function, because if we don't do it in a function, then it's not reusable, and this is going to be called more than once. So I want to make sure we can recall this, which means we're back in the uploads class is where we're going to work. There's a number of functions in here, and we're going to add one near the bottom. And this one, just the same way that we, I know I say we a lot. Delete web alias. This one is save, set. I guess it doesn't matter which one I take. I'm going to do a copy of one of these just so that we have a format. And then we're going to return what we need it to do. So this will be called in the same way uploaded files did this. We're going to tell it results equal this part. Copy that. That's returning. Actually, I'm okay with that. That's going to give us the, it echoes it out. We can actually have it build the HTML and return it in place. It's going to be a hashtag nightmare. No. No. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to split this into two. We get the results. I'm going to make it do the results and spit the results back to us as XML, and then we're going to build what it shows on the screen in the JavaScript like we've done on all the other pages. There's no reason for the server to iterate through that, through this request. All we need it to do is this step right here. Copy that. Uploaded file. Oh, I gotta get the name in there, sorry. It's gonna be something like that. Don't worry, it's gonna be more to it than this. I don't know. We're going to check some permissions probably. So that won't be there, but there'll be something there. And first thing we need to do is name this function correctly, which will be get uploaded files. I think there's enough reason to call it the mixed cache version of that. So get uploaded files. Copy that there and there, and in our page where we called it, we can do z response. That's what I want. Z response equals, and it'll be this name, and then our file here. Get uploaded files, and finally that. So then it's going to return an array. The array is put right in this because that's an array anyway. And so that is going to be the response, and that's going to be what gets formatted and sent back to me. I do not need that there anymore. So that's what we're going to get when we click that button, and it'll bring back these files. Now we just have to set this up to return something to us. We'll tell it it's going to be an array. The response, oh, actually it's results. That's one. I know I bounce back and forth between results and response. No problem. So the results are going to be whatever it does from here. We're going to use the handler instead of iframes. And it's going to be whatever this user has access to. And it can also be any stock images that we already have in the database. So that already covers what should come back. Since I have the user being called here, it's not going to bring, I don't have to worry about checking permissions because it already is only going to pertain to the particular user that gets passed in here, or that is logged in and under the current session. So I don't really have to worry about permissions on that, which is a good thing. Now, from this, we should get the results in our code here, and just to see that something shows up, I'm going to start by doing this, and it will be we have response here, and so it's going to be response. I know what I need to do, right? Okay, we won't need that line. For var I equals 0, I less than response dot length, because we've already JSON parsed this. Okay, I plus plus, and then for each one of these, we're going to do response index I dot, let's pull something from what we're getting here. This should be anything from upload objects. Okay, so upload objects in the table should tell us all the upload objects. This should tell us all the field names right here, all the columns. And just to do it, we can do the, I'm going to say object file. I want it to spit out something. Object file plus a line break. That should give us a list of all the files that it received back using that code. So if we get that far, above this section up here should be a list of files. So we'll start there and see what we get next. Console. and media library, and it should trigger it when I click objects. Okay, it only did one of them. That's interesting, unless it's behind this scene. Window blinds. Oh, wait, my fault. We are in the right place, but it helps if we put a plus there instead of just showing us the last one. I kept replacing that variable, so it was only showing me the last one. This is a good sign because we were able to get the data back from the database. So we're already on track to get that in place and on our scene. So now it should shoot it off the page. There we go. Those are the objects, and notice they're even in the same order that they are down here. We'll worry about sort orders later. I want to get rid of the iframes first. Sort order is a secondary thing to us. And then of course, after sort order, we'll have to do some page through or only preload so many. And as you scroll the scroll bar, it starts to load more for you when you start using it a lot and starts getting a lot of things on the page. But those are all things we can add later on. Right now, the whole core is that we're bringing back this data and it's time to format it. So, and it's spitting it out as this object right here, which means we'll be able to get rid of the iframe afterwards. And we'll also be able to tell this to be a certain class, which can also take on the properties of a scroll and everything else. We'll get there one step at a time. So the next thing was, in our original file, we did this, and now we're iterating through these different items. And one of the things is, this is formatting our dates. We're going to want to do some date formatting, I'm sure. We'll have to do that in the JavaScript. Link text is edit or view, and that is depending on if it's a stock object. You can't edit a stock object. Actually, I could make it where you can edit a stock object just because once you own it, you own it. Right now, I'm not going to worry about changing that. So that's if it's stock. I did this change. Okay, otherwise link text is this. If it's a 3D object, does this, else it does this. What else is this page being used for? I do not remember what this else condition was about. So if item, which is what? Oh, that's what I'm calling on this page. And this page only opens for 3D object, maybe? Let me find out. When I call this page, finding files. I'm just double checking, make sure that if it has dual purposes, then we're using most of them. Okay, so we're calling it by whatever item gets called, right here and here. But what other items would be on this page? I think it's already deciding that if it's a item like this, then it automatically uses our code. So that doesn't make a lot of sense that I would need that anymore. Because the only time you're going to see this is if you're on the 3D page. You're not going to see it when you're on the other pages. So I don't think that's an issue. Just double checking before I get rid of something, though. I believe every condition we're going to do with this. Okay, so that's doing T file item. I think it's doing this to give it an idea if it's something else. If it's something else, though, it's going to open another page, and it's not going to sort by this stuff. So I don't think it's an issue on this particular page. But my question is, why did I do this? On this page, here's the concern. 3D object, it does this, which is what we're doing right now. But what is this when it still says object file? Object page form opposed to set object select. Set select object, open object page form. And then open object page form comes after. Well, then, if that's the case, when I run this file up here, I can get that value. The item is no, I'm not passing it to here. Okay. We're almost there. Open full page form. Item is blank. Item is yeah, see, this is what we're talking about. File item, that's the file it was looking under. So if that, by the way, I don't know why this isn't dget instead of longhand here. We'll do that while we're here. No reason for leaving those longhand. Same thing here. Must have written this part a long time ago and never corrected it. Okay. I'm looking at the item being this item right here. So if I need that item, we could use that as the value. Okay, back to our code. We're almost there. We're very close. I'm going to be spitting some formatted stuff out of this page here in a couple seconds. I just wanted to know why it was doing that. Where did I lose my stuff now? 56.0. Yeah, I'm going the wrong direction, ain't I? Okay, I lost where I was. The easiest way to find that would be go back to this one here. There we go. Okay, from here, I'm just spitting out the name of the file, but what I'm actually going to do is, before it does that, var zi item equals this, just so that we have a local variable, lowercase var, and that way I can use that and do the same logic that this thing originally did. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, I just want to make the wheel work. So first thing is we have a create date, and we're going to have to format that. The next part is there's this link text. We're going to check to see if the stock is this. So we're doing something very similar to all of this. I'll just copy it over. Let's work with it on this page instead of trying to go back and forth. Give myself a little room to think and work here. Okay, first things first. Get rid of all the dollar signs because we're not using them anyway. Okay, and then echo, don't worry, that's going to be replaced by this. And that. And we're going to get rid of the quotes or the parentheses on these lines. Okay, so that's a start. This will be zresponse I dot, then the name of the file. So create date is going to be that. And then we have to format it, which is not that way. We'll get to that in a minute. I just want to give it a date on the page, be able to use it. This link text is that the stock value stock equals 1. It's probably going to be a string value now instead of that. I'm doing a couple parts here, and we're going to see how much of this is going to be as is or how much has to be modified. First of all, it's a plus sign now. This is the upload ID. So that will do that. Same thing here. Plus sign, object folder, and plus sign. And we're knocking out some of this stuff here. Okay, I'm okay with the slashes. This will work itself out, I believe. And then just need to make sure these variables first of all, don't use a dot to connect the string. We have to use a plus. So from here and right to there, it's plus and then that. Once we get this, we should have something on the page that we can work with, and we'll modify it and figure out what else to do, like clean up the date and stuff. But we're in process of getting this all straightened out without reinventing the wheel here. That's where our create date's going to end up. And then, let's see how much more we have here. I know we have a bunch. From here, upload object ID. So far, so good. And link text, we'll just put a plus and get rid of the $sign. Same thing there, link text. Well, at least we have the format of the box. We already know all the classes, and you know, it's a step in the right direction. This is a lot easier than trying to decide how to format them from scratch. So that much. And the end of that. And we have the edit button. Okay, and finally, there we go. Now this line, same thing. I was trying to figure out why I had this one on here. It does have the possibility of having different formats coming into this page, so I don't want to, whatever reason I did this for in the first place, I don't want to negate it until I fully understand what I was thinking at the time, and right now I don't want to investigate that far away from what I'm working on here to find the answer. So for now, I'm putting it all intact and seeing it work, and then we can decide if it's something we need to look further into. But it'll already be working, which is a good sign. And this will do that. Oh, I didn't put that in there. That'll make a difference. Good news, it's all the exact same names of all the same pieces, so I don't have to rename variables or anything. Just have to get rid of the dollar signs and the period connectors for the string concatenation. Okay, and another one here. And the end of it. And we got another one. And we're almost there. This one didn't have as much as the last one did. Okay, there it is. Okay, so that should give us, with all pieces in place here, that should be a listing with dates. Are going to look wacky because we haven't formatted the dates yet, but the rest of the information should be on the page like it's supposed to be. We also do not have a scrolling area yet, so we haven't added the force scroll. So we're only going to see the first handful of them on this part, and I'll see. That's loading those. Okay. See, there we go. We have boxes, and they have exactly what they're supposed to in them. And if I click edit one, okay, it doesn't know how to switch pages because I'm not in the iframe, and it tried to change the iframes page. So probably happened in the background, not a big deal. That is going to be part of what I'm doing here. Some of these where it says edit, it's going to have to go to the other page instead, which means it'll force it to reload the piece that comes behind these. Just like view, it's going to tell it what to do when we click that button. We have to fix that function next. But in the meantime, these are all loaded. Looks good to me. Yeah, that was really cool. Works really fast. Nice, nice, nice. I did see one more thing we're going to add here, and that is in this file, load object page, files. Load object page has the first thing, show loading. There's a reason I did this, and I'm gonna, well, let me grab both parts of that. Copy that. And let's just grab it to there, and then, okay, so I'm gonna pull those parts from there, go back to here, and in here, I need two pieces, and it is show loading is this part. So we're going to tell it to do that. Of course, we do not need any of that. We'll do this, X, and then this. And in here, at the end of all this, we'll put after the for loop, then we'll tell it to basically turn off that loading thing. Show loading is going to be something we pass in here the same way this other function put the word true. We're going to do the same thing, so we know that we're doing the same thing here. Okay, so, and this part isn't what we're going to show. I'm going to tell it to show that at the end, and I'm going to hide it while we're building it, while this first part, oops, is right here. This is going to be hide. We're going to hide it when we first start up, and then we're going to show it once it comes through. Now, the reason for doing that is so that it can build the div tag without seeing it on the screen. Chances are this is going to happen very quick and it's not going to be an issue, but on some computers, for whatever reason, network reasons or whatever, it could be really slow, and so I want to make sure it's not doing anything with that until after the stuff is going on. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so that brings up this page, and the other part is we need to size this. We did this function. Okay, hang on. We don't need that anymore. And the create date, we'll worry about the date here in a minute. This shows it when it's done. The other part is this div tag itself. We need to make it, we need to set it to a class that allows it to be to show the overflow. We can set the height of it. The height should be, this is actually pretty easy to find. We have the height of this one being right here. That's going to be the same thing we're doing with our new page. So this will be, at this point in time, just before I show it, we'll set the height of this div to that. And then we're going to set the overflow. We'll use a class that already does that. Let me see, where's my... this page. Okay, let's find it. Yeah, let's start with... I want to see if I already have a class set up for it, because I'm not going to... first see if there's one in admin, because this is overflow hidden. Okay, that's not it. That's the only one found there. Okay, it's not in the admin CSS, which means it'd be in the core. And next, overflow auto, that's an iframe, and scroll is auto. Well, I could rename it to handler and make it that page. Actually, find next. There's another one here. Width is 100, form scroll. This is it. Hidden, white space, no wrap. That's going to catch us. We don't want that one. Main menu scroll, auto, hidden, margin. See, I don't have a width on that. Auto and hidden. Okay, W2W full page. That's the one I want. I just want it the full width, and it can be the height that I just set in my code, but that should do it. So let's use that one right here. Now, by doing that, we should have a scroll bar, and it should be relatively the right size for us to be able to scroll this section of the page without anything else. So we can find out right here, do that, and do this. See, it showed that while showing this, so there's still something weird. But we have a scroll bar, and it is working for this section. Yay! So we've got the scroll bar, we've got the data in here. We did not fix that wrapping issue just yet, and that's on the path. We need to fix that because that's going to be There's going to be some long ones. I think this path is always going to be the same length up to the word objects. Then it's going to be whatever size it is. So I think if I break it after the word objects, that would actually be a good place to wrap the line so that it shows the path, but it's always giving you enough space to see the whole thing in here. I think I'm going to manually do it there so that it's very consistent. It'll tell it the path of the core, and then it'll tell you the path of the piece we're working on. So where's that? It would be that's all part of what gets passed to the function. Object file is the header part, and then we have object folder. This piece here, what I'm going to do is replace. Actually, sorry, wrong programming language. Replace, and it's going to be object with the slashes, comma, and it will be replaced with object, oops, keep the first slash, and a line break, and then the second slash. So we're inserting a slash in between the object like that. Copy that, and that is the same spot as this one here. So if I do it there, I think we'll catch both of them. Let's take a look. Okay, media files, 3D object. Oh, by the way, the reason that showed is because it's showing from the iframe that is still activating. So once I turn that off, that won't do it. It should have caught that. Oh, it's objects with an S. There's my problem. It is objects. Objects. And all I'm doing is tricking these words so that it... O-B-J-E-C-T-S. Okay. Now that I've done that, what it'll do is it should split that line, and we should never have to really worry about it unless one name of your folder is like 255 characters. Then it's going to have a little bit of issue showing it on the page. If the people are friendly and name things fair, see, nice and clean, it shows you that, objects, and the rest of it, which is this particular thing. So this is the core folder. This is the customized one. So we have golf ball red. Kind of makes it nice, actually. Halloween. There's some plugins ones that are on here. I don't think people are usually going to have those. Yes, they are. But that's okay. That's going to be whatever folder they're in. And those names tended to be shorter anyway. So we're not necessarily in the path. We're not actually a problem. And that's added through the plugins, by the way. That's how those got added to this list. I made it available. So that's okay. But that makes it better. They wrap nice. So, and we're moving on to the next part. Let's get rid of the iframe and also the call that puts the stuff in the iframe. So from right here, we do not need this iframe, and we do not need load object page here. I already have that down below, but let me do it again just because I just moved the line structures. This is uploaded objects, select image, files. Okay, so that is turning off and on the header piece and loading the iframe. We'll be getting rid of this as soon as we finish getting rid of the rest of these two other calls that are using it. So I'm going to remove this one since we're not using that one anymore. And now we should be able to get it without our iframe showing up. See on the bottom of this page, there's an actual iframe starting up after this piece. That's what we're seeing. We'll get it. Media library, 3D objects. Okay, when I do it, it does loading and then it disappears at the time that it actually loads this. Not a problem. Okay. You know what? I don't even need the timer on that because it happens so fast that I do not need this timer to happen. Iframes had a delay in the way they were bringing them onto the page. So now, loading select image. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm hiding something. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's fine. I understand what it is. Okay. Not a problem. Just making sure. Okay, so no timer on that. So as soon as it starts showing the page, now it should disappear. Just making sure that little loading thing happens in the right sequence. And it's happening so fast. Iframes needed a half a second delay before it actually showed them on the page. So to finish loading the page. But because this happens so much cleaner and faster, wow, we don't even need that on there practically. It loaded this page and we're good to go. Okay, so one down. We do not have that page being loaded anywhere now. So let's look for this file. Okay, which is this one. I don't think there's any other functionality that happens on this page. Well, let me hang on here. This is making sure they have upload paths. It's making sure the user has the upload path that we're even checking. It's making sure... Oh, this is the upload process that puts those files in place. Okay, we haven't phased out that yet. We're going to take care of that here in a minute. We'll get back to that, but I'm not going to delete this page yet. So, the next part of this is in admin section here. This, finding files. I want to see anywhere this iframe is being called. And yeah, it's called everywhere. What else was being used on this page? I think I reused this page for more than one thing. Oh, the upload stuff. Yeah, like I said, there's the uploaded files. Okay, we'll get rid of this page here shortly. As we get rid of these things, we'll go through them all. But we got to get that upload function in place first. So let's jump into that. Starting with, when I click this right here, this is something that tells it there's an upload file, but I think the upload piece that it's actually doing is on the other page. So let's find let's get first the function name. Start upload image. Copy that. Start upload image is this. It tells it to go into the iframe and click on the image button. So what we need to do first is create an image button that is not on the iframes page so that we can select file or files. That's the other part is I want to design this in a way that it can do one or more files at the same time. That's something else we're going to fix while we're going through all these various pieces. And so to do it first, I want to do Let me think here. So that just clicks on the button. We don't need this function by the time I'm done. So the first part is, where is this button? Because the button I'm clicking here, I'm going to put a hidden button next to it, which is the actual upload file piece. So by looking for this name here in our code, we have to start with a button before you can do anything else, right? Wow, that gets called a lot from our code. Oh, I'm just changing the words on it, that's why. Okay, so uploaded files. It's on the iframe page. No, that's calling parent. Okay, parent. Here it is. This is what I'm looking for. When I have this piece here, what I want to do is in this same area, roughly, I'm going to add page data. And it will be the actual input type equals file. ID equals, we'll give it a good name here in a second. /n, and I'm going to see if there's anything else I need to put on that, but for now, why do I feel like I have something I have copy paste ready to go? Oh, that's the name of the other button. Okay, that's the button above it. Okay. This particular one, we'll call it WTW file upload. I could do a file upload and then a multi-file upload, and so that I can just pick which one I want to do by selecting the particular item when you click a button or something. Because right now, it's actually going to be a single file upload only allowed, so you're doing one file at a time for the Babylon file. But then when you go to put files on the site, I want it to be multi-file. So I'm just going to cover both bases. I have a feeling this could be used a lot in the functions. No. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to create two of these. And there's a method to my madness of doing two. Files upload opposed to file upload. So we have two different possible buttons. The other part is I'm going to make them hidden. So class equals WTW. Hidden, I believe, is the name of the actual class. Oh, no, it's hide. Sorry. So it's hide. Hide this item. Copy that and hide this item here. Okay. And we're going to be adding an on select or on function so that we can tell it on change, so we know to tell it to do something as soon as somebody selects a file. So there will be an on change on here in a minute. You know what? I think I'm going to make that two separate lines just because I can. Copy that to there and copy that to there. Yeah, easier to see. We have files and then we have files upload. Because I'm going to put the on change event here. And when I do, I want to make it do something. So now, when I click this button, on click is start upload image, find in files, Okay, start upload image. That's where we are. And instead of doing all of this, where am I calling it from? I'm calling it from a couple different places. That's the core. That's the main one I'm using right now. Common iframe. Okay, I will not be calling it from here. So that's not an issue. That's going to disappear as soon as I get that far. So this one, what I want to do, the easiest way to do this is if I take this item and send in its object name. There's a reason for doing this. Change this to object, and then, oops, I got an idea. So, switch obj.id. Now, if j is not null, we don't want it to pop any errors if this code is being called from somewhere else at the moment. It probably won't even need that by the time I'm done, but we'll do it that way. And now case, I can tell it what the button is named and then decide, actually not ID. ID is always going to be the same. So I'm going to tell it by no, is it value or inner HTML? Sorry, it's value. Let me see. Is it? Oh, it's a div. Sorry, inner HTML. Back to that name. The inner HTML of this item will tell me which button I've clicked and what type of thing I'm trying to do at the time. So the good part about that is now, based on this, I can say, like right now, when I'm on this page, upload primary 3D file. But yet, notice if I go to stock images, it says upload file. If I go to my files, upload file, stock images. Okay, so there's different things, and it depends on what I'm doing here. The other part is there's going to be another piece where I can upload and I can tell it to go to that string, and I can base it on what that inner HTML is of that item or something. And I can make it do different things. So there's times when it's only one file, and then there's going to be times where it allows multi-file. So for beginners, for start, when I click on this item, I want it to go here, and the inner HTML is going to be upload primary 3D file. And notice it did that. Okay, hang on. Upload, oops. I thought I copied it. Copy. There we go. That's going to be the exact name that it is when it's this part, and I'm going to tell it what to do there. Otherwise, it tries to do this particular one, which I'm going to set right now. I'm going to put it in. Oh, it would be only if. Actually, it's else. I'm not even going to need this part, but for now, I'll put it in that way. And I'm not going to be doing blah, 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 blah. So if I pass this object, which is now everything I'm doing, it'll never hit this. We're getting the object name every single time. So this would need to be I'm basically phasing things out one at a time. And if I do this, if I just cut this code out, it's fine because I'm not going to be using it in the long run, but I'll do it step at a time. just so that I'm not forgetting to do something, because I'll always remember to come back here and get rid of it at the end. Okay, so now when I just set it startup file, this particular one, if I come in here and I just say this, it won't ever end up null, and it'll still pass on and just won't find the name of this particular button. Actually, on click of that item, I'm going to get that button name anyway, so it'll pass in the value for that function. So that's good to go. No matter what, we get that object in there, and the object tells us what it is. Now I'll know this is the one I did, and first I want to test it and make sure that it's not telling it to open the other item, and then I'm going to add the one that I want it to open. So it's kind of like making sure that I broke it before I fix it. See, there we are. Okay, so it didn't open it, which means if I come in here and pick this right here, I can do D get this item, click, and it's just like you click that button. See, by doing this, I'm able to say that I'm doing one single file, and it's going to be using this particular function, and we can get the rest of them all to work here after the fact. Okay, so now we're going to be selecting a file, and that should work. I didn't even save it, did I? Yes, I did. Now it should open the selector. And of course, we're not doing anything with it when we select it, so we haven't told it what to do yet, but we will be. So we go here and click here. We get this page, and if we click this, come on, it didn't do a select. Wow, that's funny. What I could do is, well, see, it would have done one of those two if it hit that far. And no errors in the column. Let's find out. Maybe there was some HTML in that line or something that I didn't get, because you can't just do upload primary 3D file if it has HTML in the actual div. So start with this, copy that. This equals object.id. I want to make sure we're getting that far. And then object HTML equals inner HTML. That should give us two values of whatever gets clicked, and like I said, you always got to have something before you can go on to the next piece. So refresh that page. Media library. I know, see all that stuff? That seems to be slow. Look how fast this loaded without doing the iframes. So definitely the iframes have a lot more weight behind them and a lot of stuff that we don't need to do. That's not even clicking now. Okay, object is blank. The word this didn't come through. Start object. Let's find out what's going on. This, startup image, this. Should be passing this object, which is that item. Well, if that didn't do it, then I can say well, there's another way to do it. Well, we do change the words that it has on there. Okay. We'll do. The only thing I really need is I just need to know what that text is, which button we're pushing. So if I do dget inner HTML, we're passing that word directly to it, and I know it should have been able to do just this, but don't know why it didn't do it. Okay, back to here. Set an object. This will be button text. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then we put that here. I'll spit it out to the console log just so we can see what we're actually dealing with. Just like that. Okay. And by the way, WTW log is console log, but it's allows me to also put comma and then name some color so that things can show up in different color when I'm trying to identify when I start dumping a lot of stuff to the console log. So it's just a fancy way of doing the same thing without having to do all the codes for changing colors. And here, undefined. Okay, that's interesting. So it's undefined. What did I miss? Let me go back to... This is a div, it's a button, and... inner HTML should be that information right there. Did I type inner HTML wrong? I didn't think so. That's exactly how I spelled it here. Yeah, no change. This piece is that item right there. This inner HTML should be that right there. Oh, unless it already, hang on. That would have to do the same thing on that other version, which is right here, because it gets removed and added back in. That's where it defines the function. So on click, so if I don't add it here, it's not going to do it. Okay, so, but undefined, we'll find out. Should be getting something there. WalkTheWeb, and it's undefined. But it opened it. Oh, it's using the other one. Okay, hang on. Button text is still coming up undefined. Let's... this one is where it would need... I think it needs that here. Just because of... There is no this when I'm writing it from here. I think that's where it's changing it. So let me find out if that's the version. Don't know why that's coming up undefined. And for now, just to not get confused, I'm going to remark this part out. I don't want to call the button there thinking that I'm getting this one. That should work. There's nothing wrong with that. But the button text is coming up blank, which means this function, when I call it, Let me guess, because I put the return false on there, it doesn't like that. Let's get rid of it. We do not need return false. That was something else I was doing for another reason at the time. Whoa, that isn't even where I'm at. Start image. This one. See, I have some things that reset this information, and if it's that might have been the one that didn't. I'm resetting what's in this on click so that you can't like click it twice before it finishes what it's doing. And so if I'm not careful, I might be able to use the word this there, but I need to make sure that it's working first. So I think what's happening is this will work, but it was replacing it at some point, and now I think I caught all the variations. There's 3 of them. Once it works with the document get element style, then I'll tell it to run it with the other. Upload primary 3D file, and it worked. Okay. So it was because I missed one of these items. I can use the word this. Okay, there, and I need to use it here. But because this particular one wasn't here, it didn't, that's what was catching it. Okay, so now that I have those in place, now I should be able to come in here and tell it that's selecting the file, and next we need to tell it what to do once we've selected the file. I'm going to leave that marked out for just the moment. And let's see, what am I going to do here? Okay, we're going to create a function. I know I'm looking ahead here, and I'm going to create a function that allows us to upload this file and put it onto the drive. So going here, even though it's not an image I should say instead of upload image, I should say upload file, because it's going to, some of them are going to be images, some are going to be whatever. So upload file process. I think I already have upload file used about 100 times in this stuff, so you know, I might not. Let me find out. I know, because there's uploaded file and everything else, but did I use a process called upload to DB? That's in PHP, so that's not even in this area. Get uploaded, upload file process is the one I'm currently naming. And, oh, I know how I can tell. If I take that out and just check for with the equal sign, copy, find, upload file, no, and no. Okay, we didn't have anything called upload file, so yay, we get a really simple name. Okay, starting here, upload file, and it's going to this will be part of what we want it to do from here. So once this happens, I believe it's the onChange. onChange equals wtw.upload file, and that's the process. We'll make it tied directly to this one, so that's the file name that we're using in this process. So the first thing is var z file equals dget that name dot files 0, which will be the first file. And now we're going to be doing an XML request. I have like the core of all that up here. Here's how I do the requests. It's going to be similar to this function here. We're going to get back JSON. Yes, we're going to be getting back JSON, so that's what it's going to be returning when we call this. It's going to be just like this. Copy that. Where this action is post, and the URL is going to be core handlers uploaded files.php. Do I want to run it this way, or do I need to just call that function? Need to do a specific one for this. Okay. Okay. Callback is going to be the function that I want it to do after the fact. I don't even think I need the callback, huh? Think about that part in just a second. I'm getting here. I'm calling the JSON request, and I'm going to so form data. I'll do z form data equals I think that's what I want if I do this right. And I think I want that after the XML request. Then here I can say z form data append file and z file. File upload. You know what? I'll just go all the way and say the same thing as our brand that we're putting in there. That's going to be the name. That's going to be the file, and it's sent back to the form data. And then when I say send, it's not the request, but it's this actual form data that I'm sending in there. I think I can append more than just that. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is I'm also going to send, this will be function, and it can be upload file. So that's where I'm going to put the code, is here in our uploaded files handler. So we're going to actually get to this point here. Okay. This is all, I tell you, I'm working through my way through this as we go. That means right here we're going to have a file upload data that comes through. Because we're already doing the rest of the format. I could have made it a little closer to what we did before and just throw the data into there, but this particular form data append seems to be the key to making it all work in this particular type of a call. So, because even after it finishes doing this, the only thing I really have to call is starting the refreshing the page that we just did. So let me get that function name. That would be that's where we did. No, that's not it. Here's where I left the space. See, it's good that I left a space. Find in files. The name of that function right here. I want to make sure I can get back to my page where I was. 5849 and 5780. Okay, so 5780. This copy 5780. I'm not that far off. Okay, and that'll be this function right here that I want to do, so that it refreshes the page after the file upload happens. That's kind of what it needs to do at the end of that. Easy enough. And now, just to know that I got this far, well, you know what? Let me call it file upload. I see a reason for this now. Okay, in here, we're gonna need to get the data, and it will be, without going lower, we don't need to change any of the data, and that'll be file upload, and this will be file upload. So now I should get the file upload to this far. Now I need to work with it in this process here, which means, what was it that I was doing over on this other page here? This process that it ran on the post back, which is right here, session post. This thing from here down to there will put the file in the right place and upload file to database. That gives us the right function in uploads. This is what we needed to do. We just need to create a function that'll do that for us by passing the file, because is there other things besides the file that I'm passing? Where's the word post? Session. Okay, I'm good on those. Files. So the pass file name, that's the file name. So it's a base name all lowercase, and then I drop it in there. So if I put my file right there as I pass in, I think I'm going to get everything I need, because then I can do the size, the type, the name, everything should come off of that file. I have a feeling when I pass it, it's not going to have those pieces, but we'll find out. Making sure there's no other posted information coming from this. It's basically that name each time, temp name. Okay, I'm going to give this a shot. Let's see what happens when I do this. Let's wrap this function, this part right here. Do I use item in here? No. Do I use file URL? Yes. Okay, content directory, blah, 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 gets added, gets added. That is not the issue. Okay, let me create a function in the right file. It's our handler file for uploads. We're going to create a new function just like this stuff here, but it's going to be that process to get the file into the directory. So copy that and upload file. And I need to make sure that there's not another one in this particular thing called exactly that same piece here. Find. Okay, there's no other one in this folder called that, so that's fine. And our results, we don't need that, we don't need that. And for now, I'm not returning anything on that side of it. We'll see if I need to. Okay, so then from our uploaded files iframe page where we used to have this, I'm going to put these files here and paste that in here. Now get rid of a little bit of this. First of all, we're not checking to see if it's a postback. That can be gone. Which means that's gone. And I need to indent all this. We're almost there. We're almost there. Now the next part is the file that I'm putting in is upload file equals that. I use that name. Did I even use it? I set it, I get the path info, and I'm looking for size and type. Okay, so since that's the path and the file name, if I just put this right here into this right here, should have that same thing and not need that name. And now that name should be unique across this page. Okay, so then the next part is this name has to replace everywhere that I used it. So going through the paces. First things first, it's this file. Whenever it calls this file right there, then it needs to be this instead. I just want to be able to highlight that again for a second. Make sure I'm getting all of them. That goes there. And I'm almost expecting errors with this because I can't believe it'd be this straightforward. But we're going to find out if we get the file here and where it actually errors on. We're going to find out and see what we can do about it. So the first thing is it's no longer iframes class, so get rid of that everywhere. That will take care of a lot of that. Is there another one out there? No. Okay, so that got rid of the wrong class. We're now using the handler class and this part here. And so we should be able to pass upload file from here. Uploads and upload file and pass this right there into here. That should put a file on our server when we do it, if I did everything right. How many times have you seen me, if you've been watching me, how many times have you seen me do things right first try? That tells you a little bit about my vote of confidence on this one. And so that'll get there. The response will be blank when it comes back, which is fine. I don't expect any response for this particular piece. And then it's going to refresh the page on the other side. What I want to do is let's get to where we think this is going to happen so that we have some type of way of watching this particular piece. It should go into objects. And this is where it's going to put the file if it works. Right now we have 10 items in here. Let me see what we can find. So, refresh the page. Give a good clean start of this. I'm almost certain there's going to be some troubleshooting required at the end of this. I'm almost certain. It just doesn't seem like something that would work first try. Okay, so upload primary file. Okay, we got that far. Let me see what I can find here. In my Blender folder, what did I already convert to? We already have a ceiling fan. Might already have a computer. I don't think I put the computer in there. Let's just do a simple computer. Computer Babylon file. Open. And here it is. Form data is not defined. Upload file. Okay, JavaScript. Form data is not defined. Okay, so that was using some process that we do not have in our code, which means that has no clue what that is, and we'll have to go with a different method, which I think all I really have to do is wrap this file into the data. Well, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Since that didn't work, I'm going to go a different method here. I want to use... I know I've got a million of these all over the place, and yet I'm still just going to search through the code to find one. Okay, here's our new format for doing the requests. We'll do that. Okay, where'd I go with my code now? That's 50 something. Let's go back this way. There it is. Okay, put that in here, and basically it's going to be uploaded files. Missed an F. Uploaded files PHP. It's going to go in there, and first of all, the file is going to be one of the values, and that's going to be called, I think it was upload file, or did I? See, this is where I always get myself in. Upload file, and then I got to be careful not to switch around the terms and start calling it file uploaded. So upload file, okay, I'm good on that. And the other part, yeah, file upload. See, I did it. Upload file and file upload. I knew I was going to do that. So let's change that back around and make it consistent. Upload file. Okay, so that should get the upload file to the actual process, and this will also be upload file is what we're telling it to do, which matches upload file right there for the function name. Okay. Let's see, is there any other parts here that I need to do? That passes that data and that, and recover login complete is not it. We want this copy to happen after the file gets uploaded. And let's see how that does. Using our same old process we did before, now we're passing the data through as a, well, it's part of the post. So I think it still works that way, even though we didn't call it officially form data. I'm not sure where that class came from, but we don't have it loaded, so it could be something from jQuery or another place. But I'm doing this pure JavaScript, so chances are if we don't have it, we didn't have it to begin with. Okay, so computer Babylon file, open, and let's see what happens. Here we go. This is kind of what I thought might happen. The data comes in, and this is a file upload type, which is more than just file data, it's everything else. So I think what I have to do is stringify it and then parse it on the back end. That kind of makes sense. So if I say JSON.stringify that particular data, that will at least package it in a way that it can be part of this request. And then when I get the data out on the other end, well, because I'm already parsing the data, I think it's going to detach that. It's going to bring it back as its own file. I think we already have that covered because we're already doing a JSON decode here, which would catch the element underneath this tier. Yeah, well, it's a good theory. I like the theory until I prove it wrong, right? Okay, so now, just to make sure, there's still only 10 items here. There is no computer. So if anything does work, then we're going to see it happen on that place. I guess I don't have to refresh the page every time because we're not working, we're calling the page that I made the change on. Or did we? No, I did it on the front end. Okay, it's one of those things. Go in here, upload file, and we get our files, computer blend file, open. Now see, unexpected token at JSON. 5789, which is going to be our 5789 right here. Oh, it doesn't know how to parse anything that comes back. That isn't even needed. Let's see, did we get, no, we didn't get a file put here. It did not place a file. It did not create a folder. Which tells me that it errored on the back end and it didn't get that far. Okay. Which would be, did it call this? So uploaded file. If it got that far, we should be able to see something. Thing is, because this is a JSON page, we can't do postbacks and different things like that. We could write things to the database to try to troubleshoot that. Well, we're a ways still off. I need to refill my coffee cup and take another look, and then we're going to dig in on this and find out where it's failing and if the data actually got there and if it's in the right structure format that we expected it to be. Because I think if we get this far and it didn't find it, that's where we would see the error. You know what? Let me check the, let's check the log file real quick. We already have some things in there from before. And okay. Oh, I got some other things. Okay, that would be class connect 17 and 14. Let me fix that while I'm at it because that's going to be an issue. Class connect. Define 14 and 17. If not defined string name. I think I do it that way. Then defined it. Define it. Okay, that'll stop that error from happening. It'll only happen if it needs to be defined. Works fine to me. That wasn't related to what we were just doing, though. Okay, well, since it didn't pop an error back into that section, and let's check for an error here. I know I already had different things. Include path, handler. That's different. And that also happened. Okay. Include path, this. Oh, failed opening required. That could be an issue. And that's happening on, it's not telling me the line. Okay, well, I got a couple things to troubleshoot here in a second, and I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break and refill my coffee cups. So I will see you in a minute. Hello, I'm back. And jumping right back in on this. Here's the deal. We're passing data. I haven't done this before, obviously, and I'm trying to figure out a way to be able to pass the data into this particular piece. I really haven't found a great way to get this piece here without this. I know Glenn too had sent me some information of how to do this, and I need to read up on that a little bit more and try some things with that. Now that I have it in where I need it in the code, I need to play around with that stuff that he gave me because he had a method of doing this, and you know, definitely if it works, we're going to go with it. It didn't allow me to do the form data version of this, which would have posted the form data as part of it. But we can wrap. Yeah, see, that should have worked. Well, we've got some things here. Couple pieces. I've got a couple errors to track down here, so let's jump right back in and see if some of this stuff, if we can't eliminate it. Okay, so in our WTWDB file, I'm just fixing a couple things here real quick. This one was popping an error on a, I know it's require once. Find next. Require once isn't even in here. That's interesting. Because the error, oops, that's the wrong page. We already took care of that one. I'm going to delete that file so that it creates a new one on the next time that we go there. This was from here, which is failed to open required. Oh, it's calling from a different page, telling it can't open this class. Okay. That's going to be a little harder to find. This is going to be in a lot of places. So let's find out. So those are off the core with the root path. This one is root path, that one's root path. Okay, so those should all be okay. The server, those are errors. It's on the actual page. And this is root path and root path. So they're always using the root path, core functions, and that. Root path, core functions. Okay, I don't see any problem with that per se. Yeah, I'd have to know which one it's coming from to track it down. So it could be this one since this is part of the Connect. No, I'm not using Connect at the moment. Well, we'll get back to that one. I'm saying that a lot this session. We've got the core piece here, which is we're sending this information in. I'm trying to stringify the file data so that we can send it into the code. Let me see something here. I'm curious what we're actually sending here. So let's do, sometimes you just got to see what it is. So I'm going to kick out this stringified file into the console log. That ought to be interesting. It's not that big of a file. It's actually a text file, so it's not like an image where we're going to get tons of image data. But in this case, we should get some type of response of what the file is. It's a text file, and it has, you know, some rudimentary data in it. Okay. Oh, it's empty. It's an empty set. That is not going to help us any. So that can't be appended that particular way. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do some more studying, because if this string file get file uploads, if I take the file and I can't just add it to the request, then I need a way to make sure I'm passing that file. And currently, when I try the form data method, which is using this form data command, it gave me a different error. See, I should have been able to call this data here using that form data command. Okay, if I do this and get rid of that. Let's go back a step to this one, because I want to find out why form data didn't come through. I have a feeling form data is part of the Java, it's part of the jQuery class or something. File, okay. So it's using fsWrite file, okay. Let's see, I don't have that loaded without loading this other object. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to do some more studying on this one before we can complete this file upload process. We're getting really close, and today we did do a number of things with, you know, getting our list down here and showing it, making it scroll. We've pretty much put this piece, got rid of one iframe page by doing that. And now we're working on this piece. I'm going to do some more studying, and we'll pick this up again tomorrow, because I've got a few things to learn. I've got a few things to check, and yeah, you gotta go somewhere, and sometimes you gotta do the digging on the books and the studying, and test some things on the side and whatever else works. So I got to do my homework. And then I'll come back and we'll get that piece going. And then we're going to continue on with when you click edit or view a file, what it actually does shows us a second page that was an iframe page. We're going to convert that one too and see if we can't get rid of it and all its places that it's used. So that should clear up a number of items that we have on the list and what we're doing with them. And like I said, we're eliminating iframes one at a time. We're cleaning up some file uploads to happen asynchronously, and you know, doing every little bit that we can. So, okay, I will get back to you. Thank you for joining me today, and oh, it's been interesting. We've made some progress. We're down to just 5 files left that need to be converted from. We only have 5 files left that are iframes, and then we are completely rid of them. So we'll keep chugging along on this and testing out some different items and see if we can't get rid of those 5 files. We're making great progress. We're almost there. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate all you that have followed me. and I will be on again as soon as I can. We'll talk to you again soon.